Hey guys, what's poppin'? Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1 away at Anfield in the Premier League. A very keenly and even contested game. And for many reasons, I'm actually taking positive stuff out of this game. And it wasn't even. It was even. Off the bat, there could have been a penalty against Jadon Sancho from Trent Alexander-Arnold in the box. Of course, they got a penalty. There was a penalty overturned. And to be honest, I think we played pretty well in this game. And considering Liverpool are a seasoned, mature, oven-ready team, apologies for citing this information or quoting this information yet again. They are like the fourth or third oldest team in terms of age in the Premier League. Chelsea are by far the youngest. We're a new team. Of course, they're new managers, but Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, inherited a functioning, fully oiled machine where Enzo Maresca, of course, has a big project on his hands. So we go to Anfield. Any result would have been a great result considering they're top of the Premier League. And context again, guys. Before this game, Liverpool had only conceded 2 goals in the whole of the season so far. So, you know, I was hoping we'd score another, get a draw, and then we'd double their numbers. But no, we'll speak about it. There's plenty to get into today. Guys, thank you for joining me. As always, I'll thank you for your support. If you do want to support the channel, you just drop a like, subscribe. If you choose to subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you do get notified when I upload. I upload every single day. Let's get into it. Alright, mate, so, I'm not for a second going to say Chelsea are in the title race, but we are in a top 4 race, although I think we are still out of the top 4 now that we have not got any points, and other teams have, like Aston Villa, and I think, Tottenham had a good win as well. Of course, Arsenal lost to Bournemouth away. That was a very tough game for us. We got the 1-0 win with the late Christopher Nkunku winner. And City got a really, really late win with John Stones, yet again scoring a late goal. I was joking, like, if Arsenal lost, if Man City drew, if they didn't get that late win, and if we somehow beat Liverpool, that we would be in the title race, but it's the truth is just not that. I'm still very pleased with where we are, and I'm gonna tell you why in this video. I've been speaking on my Instagram all the time about it. Football Yannick on Instagram if you want to follow me and watch my halftime lives and my stories talking about Chelsea. And of course, Football Yannick is my second YouTube channel for non-Chelsea content. Right, let's have a look at SofaScore then for some context of the game. Guys, cast your eyes to the left-hand side of the screen here. I know this is like, a relatively metric, but on SofaScore they show you of the attacking momentum of the game. Chelsea is blue, of course, or purple in this instance, and the home team is Liverpool in green, and we had more attacking momentum throughout this entire game. It was a pretty even game. I'm not saying we were better than them. I think it was pretty even. Curtis Jones won player of the match. He was excellent in this game, of course, scoring a goal. Excuse me. He was allowed to moonwalk into our box, into our area, completely unseen, which was very, very frustrating. Now, of course, the lineup was brought headlines because we saw players starting that we did not expect. First of all, Reece James starting at right back. Romeo Lavia starting was a really big surprise, but Reece James was the biggest, and had I known he was going to be available for a start in this game out of nowhere, bearing in mind, guys, Reece James hasn't played any minutes. He's not played like 10 minutes off the bench in a midweek game, a second half in a midweek game. No. Start you at Anfield away, Liverpool, top of the league, for your first minutes. That is insane, bro. And he was alright, I suppose. We'll speak a little bit about that. And that allowed Malo Gusto to move over to left back, this inverting left back, which we've actually seen Enzo Maresca do before with Malo Gusto. And had I known that was an option, I would have probably put that as my prediction and predicted lineup in the match preview. Very, very welcome sight to see Romeo Lavia. I imagine it's because both Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo had played away international break. They do a lot of miles. They do a lot of games. So Moises Caicedo, and that's bearing in mind, this is, I said on my Instagram, this is the central defensive. This is the church of rejected Liverpool. Lavia and Caicedo. Caicedo, Liverpool had £111 million record Premier League record fee agreed for Caicedo, but he rang up Klopp and said, no, I want to go to Chelsea. which is lovely stuff. And of course, Romeo Lavia did the same. So yes, the Church have rejected Liverpool here, but Liverpool won't mind too much because they're top of the league at the moment. Now, wow, some of the bankers here in Colwill, Palmer, and Sancho not playing that well. Of course, this the same Premier League front four that we've learnt to know and love. Jackson up top, Cole behind, Madueke and Sancho flanking them. And it's kind of a 4-3-3. I think Szoboszlai. Let's have a look at his heat map. Szoboszlai. Yeah, he's not really a number 10. It's kind of a 4-3-3 from Arne Slot. And Kelleher in goal, of course. Kanate, Virgil van Dijk, Robertson, Trent. They are a settled outfit, a settled team. Let's have a look at the stats in this game for some context, shall we? First half. Wow, we had the majority of the ball. 55% in the first half. 59% in the second half. So they don't necessarily need the ball. There is a... did they score in the first half? Yes, they did. So they had a 1.14 XG to our 0.23. I think a penalty is basically 1 XG from Salah. They created 2 big chances to our 1. We had 3 shots to their 4. A couple of saves from Sanchez. We're going to speak about him as well. In the second half, we created a bigger XG than them. 0.7 to their 0.45, both creating a big chance. We had 9 shots to their 4, 2 corner kicks to their 0. Actually, like over the whole game, like it was a pretty even game, I think, in terms of chances. We did squander some stuff a little bit. Of course, we saw a really early yellow from Tosin. Nico got booked completely needlessly for on the Salah penalty for trying to get into Kelleher's head. It was a penalty. Let's talk about the penalties then. It was a penalty from Colwill on, who was it? Jota, someone at the time. I don't know who it was. And it was a penalty. And it's a bit soft, but you can't really have any arguments with that. The real question is, was it a penalty on Jadon Sancho with Trent Alexander-Arnold? He stamped on his foot. I'd argue it's a little bit softer than the Colwill one by margins, by literal like a gnat's hair. So if that Cole Palmer on whoever it was that conceded the penalty, if that's the floor, then fine. But that Sancho one is very, very close, and it does. I don't want to like say this. Oh, it's Anfield. You can't get anything at Anfield, but you can't really get anything at Anfield. It's bollocks, mate. It does feel like sometimes the ref just listens to the Scousers, but I don't want to blame them. Let's talk about the football. Let's not be silly with that because, it was a very keenly contested game, and it's fine that they edged ultimately, and we've got a lot of stuff to look at from ourselves. Salah converts as you'd expect him to. I think it is Jota who gets... Jota comes off for Nunez anyway. And... yes, all right. So there was a penalty given against Rob Sanchez. Sanchez comes out like a nutter, clears out someone. Who was he clear? I think he might have cleared out Jota. I can't remember. Whoever it was, Salah. He cleared out someone. It might have been Gakpo. Who knows who it was? And he basically gets his shin to the ball first. Oh, it might have been Curtis Jones, actually. I think it's Curtis Jones. Yeah, so Curtis Jones is running through, and Sanchez runs out like a maniac. And he did a couple of really, really worryingly scary passes, Sanchez. But he does kind of get away with this game because he didn't really do anything wrong. Ultimately, he just had these... or anything costly, I think it's worth saying. So, yes, that penalty's rightly ruled out, and as halftime we go into the break 1-0 down. Now, Sancho comes off at halftime and Neto comes on. Look, Sancho, you can see here, he's not got the highest rating, 6.4. He only touched the ball 26 times, 86 passer. So you can see. It's not the worst in the world. He didn't complete any of his dribbles. You still can't see. He didn't complete any of his dribbles. He didn't win any of his ground duels. But, he was there. He wasn't doing anything bad, like missing obvious chances or anything. But I think the main reason why we took Sancho off for Neto is to get speed on the left-hand side. Neto can run in behind. And Noni, by the way, is worth mentioning in the first half. Noni had, and indeed some of the second half had Robertson on toast, and it should have been like, just give the ball to Noni Madueke. That's like the strat here, but we didn't do it enough. And I guess the idea was that bringing on Neto is, if we're going to play a transitional game with loads of turnovers, which seemingly there was in this game, get Neto on and get him running at Trent, because Trent is there for the taking as a fullback, and if Sancho can't do it, then Neto, you have a go. And like I said, the pace was really, really important. But we get the goal, an assist from Caicedo. We've seen these before, these vertical through balls from Caicedo that get assists essentially, and it's a great through ball. It's a great run by Jackson. It's a great finish. It was originally ruled for offside. He was onside. It was it took me it looked close, but the more you sort of looked at it, the more it looked like he was 4 inches onside or something like that, or 3 inches, a foot or whatever, like a boot rather. And it was a great finish from Jackson. It was a good goal, and you're thinking, right, come on then. Like I said, they'd only conceded 2 goals all season. Now they've conceded a third at home, and we look good. And we've had moments in this game where we've done very, very promising combinational passing. But what's the difference is the development of both teams. It really, really is. When you've got players like Salah, Jota, and Gakpo, Diaz, and the players behind them, the back line know how to find them because they're all settled and they've all been there for years and years and years. It's the difference, So yes, we see the Curtis Jones goal. They respond within like a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. It's a bunch of players are offside. Salah plays through Jones with a through ball. Loads of other players are offside, and Chelsea players aren't worried about them. But none of them picks up the deep runner, which is Curtis Jones. He runs from deep, gets in behind, takes the ball, one touch, finish, sort of does a little chip finish. It's a really good goal from Curtis Jones. He was great in this game. You have to say it. He won the penalty. There was not a penalty. Well, I suppose it wasn't a penalty, so it's probably not worth mentioning. But yeah, he was good, Curtis Jones. It's a bit disappointing from Chelsea that we didn't track a runner from deep, but at the same time, it's not like criminal defending. It's a good goal, really. Frustrating one to concede, though. Now, this is a little bit controversial with Chelsea fans online. In the 53rd minute, we see a treble change. Tosin out, Lavia out, James out. Now, maybe not Tosin because he was booked and he looked like he was struggling a little bit with his passing in the first half. So, yeah. And Badiashile comes on for Tosin. Badiashile was much better at passing than Tosin. And actually, yeah, he was a lot better than Tosin when he came on, Badiashile, to the point where, actually, if we don't have Fofana, maybe you do just move Colwell over and start Badiashile. Let's not, completely relegate Tosin just yet. We'll see him in midweek games, and, maybe he was a little bit overwhelmed by the whole Chelsea away at Anfield atmosphere. Chelsea fans might not have been happy to see Lavia and James come off. We'll talk about player performances, he looked okay, but Lavia was especially promising. But the truth is, Maresca's been very, very firm on this. He says, look, with these guys, it's about fitness, be very careful with them. And maybe they said, yeah, we'll start both James and Lavia, but we're going to take them off at 50 minutes. We'll let them start the second half, and we're going to take them off. Maybe that's always the plan. And to be honest, bro, with these players, Lavia and James, and their injury history record, fair play, stick to your guns. If that's the plan from the physios and the medical team, do it. How gutted would we have been for James to stay on and then get injured and have to come off in the 75th minute with a hamstring, and it wouldn't surprise anyone. That's the main thing as well. It just wouldn't surprise anyone. So with that, I totally understand. And actually what it does was Enzo Fernandez comes on, who's, by the way, won a man of the match against Liverpool before. So, I know we've all spoken about how Lavia should maybe replace Fernandez for a while. He looked pretty good, by the way, when he came on, Fernandez, I think. He looked okay. And then, of course, Renato Vega coming on means Malo Gusto can move over to his native right back, and Vega can move over in the occupied spot from Malo Gusto. Yes, lots of changes. We make our final change later on where we saw Christopher Nkunku's coming on, and we all thought, okay, well, here we go. It's going to be Jackson for Nkunku, because Jackson's on a yellow. He's probably tired, and Nkunku can run in behind. But no, Jackson stays on, and it's Noni Madueke who comes off. So at this point, I'm thinking, you know what this means? Neto's going to move over to the right, which he did. And Jackson, like he did under Pochettino, is going to move over to the winger position, and then Nkunku's going to go centrally and run in behind. But no, it was rather frustratingly Nkunku was farmed out to the left and had to sort of do a lot of deep defending on the left-hand flank as well. But fair enough, I kind of get it. He nearly scored later on Nkunku from that sort of left channel anyway, so kind of made sense. Should we talk about player performances then? Gusto and Reece James was fine. Like, you know, it's just about seeing him on the pitch. He sort of had a couple of moments. One moment looked a bit wobbly, but he was being fouled. He did win the majority of his ground duels, half his aerials, lost possession 11 times. He won a foul. It's kind of fine, really. His crosses 0 out of 6 doesn't seem very James, but maybe it's because he's not playing as a conventional right back. He's playing as like a tucked in centre back, right back, because of course the left back's inverting into midfield. But, you know, 91% pass accuracy, just getting him on the pitch is the main thing. Rob Sanchez in goal. I thought he was okay. He did have heart attack moments. He's just that guy, isn't he? He did a really couple of bad passes, but he made an amazing pass as well in behind to Sancho or someone. He's just, you never know what you're going to get with Sanchez. I thought Tosin was disappointing, not just because of the yellow card, but some poor passing. He did settle a little bit, but not great. Levi Colwill, of course, he conceded the penalty. He's usually out, pass master, everything goes for him. He did make 3 clearances, 2 tackles. He was dribbled past. Ground duels, 4 out of 9, so it's less than 50% win rate. Aerial duels, 1 out of 3. Yeah, you'd have to say by his lofty standards, even though his passing was okay with 4 out of 6, you have to say by his standards it was a poor showing from Colwill. Caicedo, great. Let's have a look, shall we, here? What am I doing? Caicedo here, as you can see, his stats, very relatively strong passing. 2 long balls. He was successfully dribbled 1. Won the majority of his ground duels, so that's job done. Did lose the ball quite a lot for a CDM, but the game was hella transitional. Obviously got the assist, which is very important. Now, Lavia, especially in the first half, was very impressive, I think. 96% passing, which is good. 1 out of 1 long balls, which is good. 3 out of 3 dribbles. Now, this is it, guys. This is why he's different to Caicedo, to Enzo Fernandez, and why I was comparing him when we signed him to a little bit like Mateo Kovacic, because he's a ball-carrying midfielder. And he still won the vast majority of his duels, 5 out of 7, and 1 out of 1, 100%, and only lost possession twice. That is effing good from Romeo Lavia, guys. That is a really good showing and an exciting performance and progression from him. The attack is kind of disappointing, really. I don't think it's to do with how we're set up. I just think maybe, Cole was really poor, I think, personally, by his standards. Maybe the worst he's played for us in a while. He did make 3 accurate long balls. Yeah, I don't know. 1 dribble attempt. I do think, I mean, I don't care that he wins 40-odd% of his ground duels because he's not necessarily that player. Jadon Sancho, Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, all kind of disappointing. Noni rightly ranked the highest here on SofaScore. And Jackson, good. I mean, he did that absolutely stupid yellow card. He needs to learn about that. You'll always do that. But great celebration, showing the badge. Not many touches as well. He did an Erling Haaland here. 18 touches, 1 goal. I think he played pretty well. In terms of the substitutes, Benoit Badiashile shining here out of the rest who came on for Tosin. Absolutely got into cinema ruckus with Darwin Núñez, which was top banter. 100% of his aerials, 50% of his ground duels. Made a couple of clearances. Made an interception, made a tackle. Pretty strong. 3 out of 3 accurate long balls. This is why my guy's coming on for Tosin. Now, I'm not repping Badiashile out of nowhere over Tosin, but one thing's for sure. We knew that Benoit Badiashile has good passes on him, and he demonstrated that today. So he deserves his props, man. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, really, isn't it? You go away to the league leaders, you give them a game, you're still learning. It's kind of fine, isn't it? Like, it feels like it's kind of fine, really. again, it's fine margins if Nkunku puts there, but they had chances as well. It was probably a quite even game. They're at home, they won it, they edged it. It's just a shame that we played Man City on our first game, because watching them lately, if we played them like around now or later, I wonder how well we could have done against Man City, but we move. Guys, I put out to you guys as always. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Leave your thoughts, feelings, emotions on the game. Who you thought played well, who you thought didn't. And can't wait to see you back here soon. So thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing to Football Therapy. And I'll see you in a bit, mate.